Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tikit Tech Burst webinar, Secure Document Sharing and Version Control Conference Call, hosted by Andrea Foot. My name is David, and I'll be your event manager for today. During the presentation, your lines will remain on listen only. If you do require assistance at any time, please key *0 on your telephone, and an operator will be happy to assist you. I'd like to advise all parties this conference is being recorded. And now I'd like to hand over to Andrea. Please go ahead.
Thanks, David, and hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us over your lunch, I hope. In speaking with in-house counsel and lawyers, what I've been learning is everyone is a bit short of time, but they still want to learn about technology. So we've put together some very short sessions in the coming weeks to take you through some of the basic functions that you might find in a document management system to help you with your everyday life. This is one of the topics that we hear a lot about out there. We've got teams working with internal and external groups, managing documents, trying to make sure that they're sharing things securely and sending them around in a way that they can trust that the right people get their right hands on the right version of things. So we thought we'd take you through how our clients approach it. What I'm going to be using to show this to you on is one of our partners. We're the global partner for NetDocument, and we have offices in Europe, North America, and in our region here in Asia Pacific and Australia. And it's a cloud-based document management system. I'm not going to take you through what one of those is, I'll assume, but we have links to sessions that we've run for to give you higher overviews, bigger overviews of what these sorts of technology products do. So I'm going to dive right in. This is a cloud-based solution. It means everything's stored elsewhere up in technology servers that you don't have to look after or worry about. But really, let's just cut to the chase, I think, and have a look at the solutions that we're thinking about. So for those of you on a call who've used the document management system, and if you're a lawyer either in a practice or an in-house team, I'm sure you've come across one of these. What I'm looking at here is a web page, and we're seeing for a particular matter the documents and emails that are stored against it. This is laid out in a particular way to suit the way I prefer to work. What we're seeing here is, lists of files and details, but really the point of today is to give you an idea of the first thing if I want to share something out with the world. Obviously, one can just simply take a document, you can sit in your email, you can find a document, email that out, and have it stored here as a file. But what we're talking about today is what could you do to know that you're sending that link out in a more secure way? We're all learning that just sending things out straight as an email isn't perhaps the most reliable thing to do or secure thing to do. So by right-clicking on a document, what we can see here is the option to deliver a secured link. And when I click on that, it's going to just offer me an extra set of information that I can fill in. So you might do this internally, you might send a link or the actual document, but you can say, well, I want to password protect this, and we're going to send a link out so the document itself doesn't get transferred around. We can say which version we want to send. We can have, and we'll come on to version control in a minute. We can lock it internally. So if you're negotiating or you're working on a version control, you can say, well, look, I'm going to send it, I'm going to lock it as it is to stop people internally changing it before the revised version comes back. We can put an expiry date. We know we just want that to be out there for a week and then it will expire. And then finally we can say, well, look, do you want to allow that document to be downloaded? I'm just going to send this to myself so you can see what we're putting together. And then there are practical stages. You can say, well, look, I want to know if somebody's actually accessing it. If time is of the essence, you've got sales guys hopping up and down on your neck to agree a contract. It's good to know when the people at the other end of this have actually clicked on it and decided to do something with it. Here's a note to tell them that we're can't multitask at that, should be able to. I'm just typing my content in and it's sending here. Here's the detail of what the document or documents. We can do multiple documents as we send these through. If I now send that out, That's now packaging that up. It will profile it, the fact that we've sent that out, and at some point we'll get I've sent it to myself, so you'll see that notification come through. So in that step, what we've not done is we've not put the raw document out into the airwaves. We've sent a secure link, and at the point when it comes through to us, we'll be offered, I'll act as the external user, we'll be offered the chance to, if I'm allowed to download it, I can download it, or I can simply have a look at it and start to work with it from here. So in that simple step, what we're offering is, or what the Net Document solution is doing, is it's saying, here's a different way for you to start sharing a single document out. That's really the most practical and direct way to securely share those documents on a one-by-one basis. We can also say to the system, what we'd like to do is set up a shared work area. So we can say, well, actually, there's a whole series of documents that we want to share. We can set up a folder and say, well, these are the ones that everyone's going to be working on, and then give access to a whole set of documents as opposed to just sending them one at a time, and to share the link with them in a very similar way. We're looking at one matter here, and you can see that it's grouped in a particular way to suit my needs. If I move on and just look at the sort of bigger picture of the system, Net Document starts off with a dashboard, in effect, that you customize to suit yourself. And here we can see I've set mine up in a way that suits things that I'm keen to see. If that's sort of perhaps not putting together the information you want, a very useful thing to do is to say, well, actually, I'd like to have a quick look and see what are the recent documents that I've done, and this starts to move us on to look at version control. So we can look at versions in all of the areas that we've seen. This just really shows it very neatly in front of you. So here are the things that I've been working on. If we look down, we see very quickly this has got a green tick on it. You can see it's checked out, and it's showing me the versions that I have active. What you'll start to see when I click on this is the system will maintain an audit trail, and this is a conversation I have regularly with, certainly with in-house counsel, just keeping tabs on what is the current version, how do we know where we're up to, how do we know what's happened to it. Because this is a centrally maintained document management system, these are all maintained by me, but if I've done one, the other side has done a version, and we brought that back in and made it the current version, we can add a version and make it current. All of that is tracked through the system. So you instantly, without you having to try and manage you're not having to particularly manage this process, it's a byproduct of just using the system. And to try and illustrate that further, if I'm in the document, I'm sitting here in Word, you can see a unique number. This is how the system knows in itself. You don't have to come up with that. The machine is doing it itself. We're coming in and starting to make amendments, add changes, turn it into different layouts, whatever's happening. At the point when you come to save the document, what it's going to do is it's going to work out which versions it's up to, and then it will give us the opportunity to save it as a new version. So we could say, give it a reason why we've added a version, whatever it is, save that away, and immediately it will understand that it's now at that changed version. So controlling and tracking it becomes straightforward. I hesitate to say, hazard a way of saying it. So if we look at that list again, there we are. We can see we're on to the third version, and again, now we can see we've made it an official version. So there's more detail around that. You can say every change we make, we create a version. You can make that manually controlled. You can go back and say, well, actually, this one's the official one. This is the one we're drafting. But it puts control in your hands. And again, we've got the opportunity to say, I want to deliver that out as a secured link, decide who's allowed to have it, change our minds about having sent it out, and et cetera, et cetera. So you've got far more control at your fingertips than you'd have simply by preparing an email and pushing it out. In addition, the size of documents that people are working on these days. This happens to be a Word document. Increasingly, we're seeing things like PowerPoint being put together with many graphics and images in it. The size of documents can start to become a problem as we're trying to create and send things out. By sending things through as a link, you're not cluttering up your email, and you're also not overburdening. You're reducing the amount of the size of things that you're sending in and out. Just simplify some of those problems where perhaps in the past people might have ended up going, we'll just put it, never mind what the corporate systems say, we'll put it in Dropbox and share it. This helps you step completely to one side of those sorts of situations. So the end result is, from within the one system, what you're able to do is keep track. If I go back to where I was, we keep track of our the documents that we've been allocating out. We've got a secure way to send them, a secure way to manage who can open them, keeping control of the versions, and then being able to bring in and update those versions as you need to keep a better grip on what's actually happening in your system, so against each document. So that is a very lightning whiz through another way perhaps to securely share documents. It's typically a byproduct of using the NetDocument storage. Because it's in the cloud, you can get access to it wherever you need to. The data is actually held in Australia and North America, and depending on you choose where the data is held, we'd assume you'd hold it here, so your data sovereignty is assured. And we can tell you more about how in-house teams and law firms use document management systems. Do get in touch with us. We've been doing it for a very long time, and we'd be delighted to help you. So hopefully that's been a super short, sweet burst of tech. That's enough for you to get back to your sandwich and your lunch. And I'd like to, actually, we've got a question. Somebody's just asked me the question, can a document be assigned to a matter number and organised by matter? Absolutely. So part of what we do is we help you structure the system the way you want to see it. So yes, you can certainly store it by matter. One can also allocate. You can say, I know I've got things stored in a matter, but I want to put up a filter or a search. So here's the things under one matter. If we go and look here, there's all the files held under one matter, or documents rather, held under one matter. But under your main search, you can create, these are filters where it's saying anything with the word agreement or the category agreement, pull them together in one place. And that can be applied across work type, across matters. So it's a very flexible, you don't have to be too linear in how you store things, but you can be very structured. Anyway, got distracted in my attempt to be nippy and fast. So that brings us to the end of this session. I hope that was short and sharp enough. Our next one is next week. If you haven't registered, please do join us. And I think we'll be looking at, I believe it's email finance. I should have looked at that before I started, but a quick way to help you manage the volume of emails that come through and how securely you can find them. And with that, I'd like to hand back to Devin to complete the call.
Thank you, Andrea. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes your conference call for today. You may now disconnect. Thank you for joining. Have a very good day.